So the Shoonya meditation, among all the meditations that we teach and whatever processes we do, it is the topmost possibility because it's so subtle. You always slip up on that. 99% of the people experience Shoonya for a few seconds. That itself will make a phenomenal change in the physiological process.
Shoonya meditation offered by Sadhguru, usually referred to as Shoonya Intensive, is an advanced meditation program designed by Sadhguru. It is a 4-day residential program conducted under strict supervision of trained Isha Yoga teachers. There are certain prerequisites. I'll tell you more about this later in the video. And at the end, I'll reveal a tip that I wish I knew before attending the program that I know you'll value.
There was a time when Shoonya initiations used to be explosive, but we've controlled that because we were trying to fit into a civilized society. Shoonya is not supposed to be fireworks. I hope they didn't say fireworks are going to happen in Shoonya. Emptiness is supposed to happen, I'm sure. That's not going to be explosive.
A large part of the Shoonya Intensive program is taken by learning Shakti Chalana Kriya. Now, many people will be surprised that these two practices come together. But Shakti Chalana Kriya, along with guided Hatha Yoga, is preparing the body and the mind for the Shoonya initiation. Shakti Chalana Kriya is a set of powerful, purifying practices that enhance the flow of one's vital energy. Shoonya meditation is, on the other hand, an effortless process, conscious non-doing. Together, these practices stimulate the release of physical, mental, and emotional blocks and lead to a deep sense of inner well-being. Shoonya Intensive is conducted at the Isha Yoga Center, India, at the Isha Institute of Inner Sciences, USA, and more occasionally at various other centers around the world. What is my experience of it? Now, some might not be happy with what I'm going to say, but you might want to hear me out.
What's happening to somebody else is not happening to you. That's all the question is. So as you've been told, don't compare yourself to anybody, do not expect anything, just do it. It's okay, I expected nothing, I'm doing it and still nothing is happening. If nothing happens, that's the greatest thing to happen. Everybody is working towards that with little something and something and something. The practice itself is not designed towards an experience. The practice is only designed to bring a certain amount of fluidity into your energies. So what's being done here is not about controlling your mind, to bring an awareness as to what you're not. It is structured so that gradually as you practice, you become more and more fluid on all levels. Instead of being rigid block of concrete, you are becoming little more fluid. Maybe in one person, this becomes love, in another person it becomes utter blissfulness, in another person it becomes screams, in another person he becomes little gentler than what he is. So how it may find expression in each person is according to whatever is missing in his life. How each being finds expression depends on variety of factors. To put it very simply, as you put it, it is karmic structure. What kind of karma? But do not ever understand karma as, is it my bad karma, nothing is happening to me. That's not the point. There is no such thing as good karma and bad karma, if you ask me. Because karma is like, one way of looking at karma is, it's a certain bondage, it's the only bondage. Another way of looking at karma is, it is your only savior. You're alive only because of your karma. If I take away all your karma, you will be done today, right now.
Don't ask me or anybody out there about what they experienced during Shoonya initiation, practicing Shakti Chalana Kriya, or in Shoonya meditation. This will only create wrong expectations. Any expectation is wrong. This might sound harsh, but I'll tell you why. Expectations limit the possibilities of your own experience.
No expectations, no expectations.
If I tell you what I felt, no, that thing doesn't happen to you, which happened to me, then you would say, there's something wrong with me, I'm doing something wrong, or I have to work towards some specific experience.
Enlightenment.
This expectations game is a vicious loop. it will only end up frustrating you. Our Shoonya teacher told us the following: if something happens to you in meditation, it is good. If nothing happens to you, it is very good. Instead of sharing my experience, let me tell you one of the most inspiring incidents that happened to me during the program. I volunteered for Shoonya this year in April, and while we were moving the mattresses for the participants, yes, bedding will be provided for you, the coordinator, who was also an inner engineering teacher, got stung by a bee while grabbing a mattress. Nobody even noticed until he came out and he showed his hand to me. He laughed and said, "I got stung by a bee." I just thought to myself, this must be the worst thing that can happen when there are at least another 200 mattresses to move. But he just watched his hands and continued helping the other volunteers as much as he was capable of. At the end of the program, when all of us volunteers gathered and shared our experience with each other, we were all curious about what he is going to share. He pointed out that this incident of getting stung by a bee really showed him how much his perception and reaction has changed. Because earlier, he used to have a high-paying job at a bank. Whenever something bad happened, he would always ask himself, why me? Why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? And he would drown in those thoughts until he would feel like a failure. Now he gets stung by a bee, and he did not even react to it immediately. He sat down the mattress, washed his hands, and said, for whatever reason, the bee was there at that moment, and I happened to grab that exact place. It's neither my fault, nor did the bee want to sting me, it just happened. He then continues his voluntary activity and did not suffer the pain at all. Yes, his hand was swollen, and he put cold water in it, but he laughed about this happening to him, rather than getting frustrated by it. He ended his sharing by pointing out that this is the power of Isha Yoga practice.
If you simply go by the instruction and sit there, physiologically changes are happening. It is a clear step forward. It doesn't matter what you do, what type of practice you do. There is really no substitute for Shoonya. 15 minutes Shoonya itself can lead to enlightenment.
What is the significance of Shoonya, you might ask?
So Shoonya means it's the art of doing nothing. We're teaching people how to do nothing really. It's a way of creating a space between you and the body. See, it doesn't matter how many teachings go into you, but still life situations will overpower you and overwhelm you as long as you're part of the mind and body. If at all, if any suffering has entered you, the only kind of suffering that you know is, it has either entered you through the body or through the mind. So Shoonya is a state where if you sit down, you get disidentified with the process that you refer to as body and the you refer to as mind. Once you establish this state of not being identified either with the body or mind, once you create a space between you and that, this is the end of suffering. Because all the suffering is either manufactured in your mind or in your body. Once there is a space, there is no such thing as suffering for that person.
Alright, let's get to the prerequisites. How to prepare. Due to the nature of the Shoonya program, it is highly recommended that one goes through a certain amount of preparation in order to make the most. On Isha Foundation's website, you're going to find two main ways to prepare. But as I promised you before, I'll share a tip which you won't find anywhere online. The first thing that you need as part of the preparation is practice Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya regularly for a minimum of 3 months prior to attending the program. And the second thing is practice 20 minutes of Sukha Kriya followed by 20 minutes of Om chanting 1 to 3 times a day for at least 15 days before attending the program. From my personal experience and speaking to a lot of other meditators, I found out that the second prerequisite is mostly taken very light and sometimes completely skipped. What I've witnessed while volunteering for Shoonya Intensive this April was at least 50% of participants were struggling with sitting comfortably on the floor for 20 minutes of Sukha Kriya followed by 20 minutes of On chant, which proved to me that most people make the mistake of not practicing it prior to the program. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to do and what not to do, but if you wish to make your experience of the program a pleasant one, then I highly suggest doing at least once a day. Don't skip it. I've witnessed participants in pain struggling to hold their hand during Sukha Kriya. Others were struggling with knee pain. So please take this prerequisite series. And finally, the tip that I wish I knew before doing Shoonya Intensive is to practice Vajrasana for at least 10 minutes every day. This will make your experience of Shakti Chalana Kriya so much smoother, especially if you have pain in your knees or had knee injury before. Try increasing the time of sitting in Vajrasana every day. In the beginning, you can use pillows to support you while sitting. This has not been mentioned in the guidelines, but even people who have grown up sitting on the floor have shared with me that they wished they've been practicing this asana before coming to the program. I hope this helps you. If you want to know more about other advanced programs designed by Sadhguru, check out these videos. I'll see you in the next one.